under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Boy, this chair is not quiet.
No, I don't. Okay, gentlemen, we've all had a chance to take a look at the regular agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the regular agenda, please?
Also move.
John, do I have a second on the regular agenda, please?
Councilmember Carr?
Aye.
Councilmember Rogg?
Aye.
Councilmember Giefer?
Aye.
Councilmember Tufti?
Aye.
Mayor Huber?
Aye, thank you, Kim. Second on our agenda is approval of the consent agenda. We've all had about a week to take a look at that. Do I have a motion to approve our consent agenda, please?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Do I have a second on that consent?
Second.
Thank you, Bob.
Councilmember Carr?
Aye.
Councilmember Rogg?
Aye.
Councilmember Giefer?
Aye.
Councilmember Tufti?
Aye.
Mayor Huber?
Aye, thanks, Kim. Well, the staff really has it easy this time. We've got no items for our engineer, no items for our planner, and no items for our city attorney at this point, although we do have Christina with us tonight for any questions. And thank you, Christina, for coming. New business. We have the consideration of the Comcast cable expansion project agreement. I guess I'll go ahead and jump on this. I might have to talk for a few minutes, so water first. As you gentlemen know, I've been on the commission, cable commission, for several years now. I was able to negotiate about 1.5 mile expansion. It's got to be almost 6 years now. That was on 115th off of Jamaica and then north up Inwood. As you can imagine, these are very complicated negotiations and very complicated project planning. So this one here took us quite a while, and I do want to thank the state of Minnesota for dedicating funds for the border-to-border project. I also want to thank our Comcast cable representatives, Megan and Carly, who have been just fantastic to work with during this entire project. And we are coming to the point where the city will need to dedicate $150,000 in ARPA funds, which is the COVID funds forwarded to us from the federal government, which can be used for this type of project. As you guys know, and I've explained it in the past, these funds are very, very restricted in their use. Telecommunication, allowing people with children, younger children, to educate those children at home in case of a pandemic, working from home so as not to hurt the economy during a pandemic. These are all issues and goals that the federal government has set. So, the state of Minnesota, through their border-to-border grant program, the federal government indirectly through their ARPA grant program, and Comcast with their assistance as well. Obviously, they're going to be doing the engineering, the planning, and the actual construction. So as I get more, and I just want to put this out front because people are going to have questions, so I want to make sure people get this. As I have more information about the actual addresses, the scope of this project, and when it's going to be occurring, I will get that information on the website just as soon as possible. Everything we have right now is very, very preliminary, but what I can tell you is that the vast majority of this project will go from 96 and Manning up a corridor north and basically do almost the entire northeast section of Grant. That is the most underserved corridor that we have right now, and that's where they've identified the project to take place. Obviously, Comcast identifies that, as there are business considerations as well with that. They do have to make money on that, even though part of it are grant dollars. There still is a profit motive there for Comcast, as we would expect. So, that is my spiel. Do we have questions, gentlemen? Anything that you want to talk about? Tom?
Yeah, so this money is strictly from the money we're getting, that from other sources, not our franchise fees or anything. That's still going to the cable commission and all that stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. The ARPA funds, $150,000 that, should we approve this tonight, is actually the COVID funding that we received from the federal government. None of the dollars that we currently hold, excluding the ARPA funds, will be used for this. The franchise fees that we get from the Cable Commission right now are completely independent of this. Those fees are based upon the amount of subscribers that Comcast has in the city and what contract the Cable Commission has negotiated with Comcast. So, good question in terms of the franchise fee. If we put another 250, 300 houses onto Comcast, hopefully, that franchise fee, would it go up? Sure. Because we would become a bigger city in their eyes. And at the Cable Commission, each city is rated on the number of subscribers, and that tells you how many votes they get. For example, we get 4 votes. White Bear has like 11 votes.
And there's, how many cities are still involved with our cable committee?
7, I believe.
Okay,
Yeah.
and we haven't lost anybody, anybody fell off the
We
line.
haven't lost anybody,
Lately.
anybody. But there are, if it became, this is beyond the scope of what I'm
Right.
talking about
I
tonight.
understand.
If it became necessary, certainly the council could take action in order to safeguard our
Yeah,
interests there.
cool. Well, it's great that they can get wired up there. I'm sure they'll be
Well,
happy.
can you imagine living with a dial-up
Yeah,
right now?
it's crazy.
I can't imagine it. Poor John's got kids, 4 kids, John, if I may?
Yep.
4 kids,
Yeah.
who, I don't think they can all play Xbox at once, can they, John?
No.
I didn't think so. So whether it's Xbox or communication or education or government, I think in 2023, when most of outstate Minnesota has been wired up with fiber, I think it's time for Mr. Rogg and other residents of Grant to be wired up. So I can't think of a better use for these funds than to wire up the remainder of Grant as far as is possible with that. So,
Question? So,
yeah.
all we have is this agreement, so we don't have a resolution or anything? to
I
pass
don't
it?
believe they gave us a revolution, did they, Kim? Go ahead, Kim.
Mr. Mayor and council members, the resolution was not required. The city attorney did review the agreement. He had no issues with it. Some revisions were made per his request, but no, you just have to approve the agreement.
Okay,
Okay,
thank
just
you.
a motion and a second and approve it. That's
Yep.
what I thought. All right, real good. I've explained it. Any other questions? Bob, John, Jeff?
None for me.
Real good. Looking for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve 2023-75.
Do I have a second?
You should have left him do it, come on.
I didn't see him down there.
Just kidding.
Okay, we got a first and a second.
What clarification, Councilmember Giefer, your motion was to
Oh.
approve the cable project agreement?
Oh, sorry, I didn't put my glass, yes, I was on B, sorry, yes. A.
Okay. Councilmember Carr?
Aye.
Councilmember Rugg?
Aye.
Councilmember Giefer?
Aye.
Councilmember Tufti?
Aye.
Mayor Huber?
Aye. Thanks very much, Kim. Do you want to, we should have discussed this, but I don't really talk to you guys much. Do you want to take the electric service franchise ordinance or not? Oh, we'll go ahead.
Briefly, yeah,
Yeah,
if
just
you have
briefly,
more
go
to
ahead.
add, feel
Well,
free.
It's a renewal, so
Yeah.
it's not a big deal.
Mayor and council members, your current franchise agreement with Excel expires December 1st. It is the same agreement in terms of it's like 20 years like the last one was. Yeah, it's a long time. Again, it's comes up December 1st, and if any changes, actually if there are no changes, it takes about 3 months to get into their system. Any franchise fee agreement with Excel has got to be adopted by ordinance. So before you have 4 ordinances. The first ordinance is the actual franchise ordinance. And what that means is you have an ordinance place to collect a franchise fee. Does not include the fees. That is because at any time during the year, one time a year, you can increase your fees or lower your fees, as long as you have that ordinance in place. The second ordinance is to implement the electric service franchise fee, which you have always had. In your draft ordinance, I did not increase those fees. I kept them the same based on your budget discussions and just knowing the council. There was an outline in your packet that showed the increase in fees if you choose to go up, and you can choose to go up. But I kept the electric franchise the same. What I did add was another ordinance for the gas franchise fee. You currently do not have one with gas. And I'm not sure the history of that, why that would not have been included. Most cities have the electric and the gas. And I put that at the lowest level. That's what's included in all your ordinances.
Were we charging gas before?
You were not getting a franchise fee.
Okay.
You weren't. Hang on, Tom. Real quick, the reason that we have these franchise fees is the same reason that we have cable franchise fees. These folks are out in our city, they're working, we all experience the gas line extension that occurred right next to the elementary school and on 75th there. So tearing up roads, stopping traffic, this type of thing, and making sure that the projects, obviously, we're not having Jack out and inspect high-pressure gas pipelines. That's not his role. But all of those things are under this umbrella of what they do. And if I am correct, Kim, XL does not pull permits of any kind.
They are not charged.
They are not charged.
They do pull right-of-way permits, yes.
That's a difference, and thank you for that distinction. The point is that they don't pay. These franchise fees are how they pay. This is how they handle this. And going through, and I have phoned a number of different cities, and I've been on different cities' websites, we are the lowest by about 50%. And whenever we start talking about revenue like this, I'm pleased that you all agreed to a 15-minute meeting in December. Because fees like this, revenue fees like this, if Tom's concerns, perhaps for the economy, maybe my concerns for the economy are founded, we should know by December. That's the time where we can, as Kim made quite clear, we can raise or lower these, okay? If things get changed and we have to make changes, we can do that in December, but that's a perfect time to think about it and talk about it and make changes if we need to make changes, right? So, pretty simple stuff. Everything's the same except for the gas went up slightly, lower than I've seen anywhere else. Tom?
Yeah, well, Sharon was there when we used to just have a levy, and then they limited us. We couldn't increase it, so that's the only reason we even have these. We might have added them in the meantime, but that's the only reason we added them to begin with. So it's just it's kind of a secret tax that we put on the residents, but you gotta get your revenues, and it's just now it's just built into the cake. So, I mean, it is what it is. So I don't think I'd be interested in raising those. I would rather do with a straight levy increase. Kim, question, reviewed by our attorney or whoever, all these documents. You said, when was the last time is this I can't remember. Is every year we do the XL, the electric, or has it been a while?
Oh, it's been a while. It was.
Have we, because I wouldn't know what could have been added or not added, so I'm hoping they've
Mayor,
been gone
council
through.
members.
Hi, she's smiling, hi.
We
The
took
city
care of that
attorney
sometime
reviewed
ago.
all of them.
Hey, I guess I'm doing my
Absolutely.
due
Yep.
diligence, sitting up here, because I wouldn't know if I read it, if it was, something was needed to be added or not. Okay, that's great to know. Good, yeah. And then adding the gas, small little increase, again, I don't really like it, but, whatever.
I will speak up on that. The city owns the right of way. Everyone else gets charged to do work an hour right away. So I will respectfully disagree that it's secret tax. It's on everyone's bill. It's just like the cable franchise.
Yeah, but
fee,
it's-
so it's not a secret.
No, but it's passed on to the residents.
It is passed
They-
on to
they
the
don't pay
residents.
them, so that's all.
It is, and it's minimal. And like I said, the time to discuss if there are any issues, Tom, as you brought up wisely, I think earlier, changes in the economy that we need to discuss. That's why the December meeting is in place. Those 15 minutes. So, if there is nothing further on this, gentlemen, I would like to get a motion on 2023-75, the electric franchise ordinance itself.
I'll move to approve that 2023-75 electric franchise ordinance.
Thank you, John.
Second.
Second, you can take your choice. We have Bob and Mr. Giefer on that one.
Councilmember Carr?
Aye.
Councilmember Rogg?
Aye.
Councilmember Giefer?
Aye.
Councilmember Tufti?
Aye.
Mayor Huber?
Aye. Okay, moving on. We're gonna be an ordinance implementing the electric service franchise fee. And keep in mind, the last time this was done was 2009 or something? So yeah, probably nobody remembers this. I don't even think I was alive then. Yeah, pretty young. So,
We were there, Sharon.
We were.
2023-76, an ordinance implementing the electric service franchise. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved. We got Mr. Giefer on the first. Second, please.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Bob.
Councilmember Carr?
Aye.
Councilmember Rogg?
Aye.
Councilmember Giefer?
Aye.
Councilmember Tufti?
Aye.
Mayor Huber?
Aye, thank you. And the gas franchise ordinance, which is 2023-77. Bob?
Bob, your
John? Tom?
I'm not voting for it.
Do I have a motion?
I'll vote on it.
I'll move to approve that.
All right, real good. We've got Mr. Rogg as a first. Do we have a second?
Sure what vote here on, but second.
Yeah, $2. We can swing it.
Councilmember Carr?
Sure.
Councilmember Rogg?
Aye.
Councilmember Giefer?
Aye.
Councilmember Tufti?
Aye.
Mayor Huber?
Yep. So that was our ordinance, our franchise ordinance, and then the ordinance implementing a gas service. Or is that the one I just called? That was the one I just called. Never mind, gentlemen.
Yep.
Authorization for summary publication. As you guys know, we would.
No?
Go ahead. Sorry, did I skip one?
Yes,
I thought-
78, last
It
one.
was 78. Thank you. Ordinance implementing a gas service franchise fee. I had my mark there, but I didn't have the names on it. Do I have a first on that one? Motion to approve.
Approve.
Thank you, John. Do I have a second?
Who made the motion?
Mr. Rogg?
Oh, Mr. Rogg did.
I don't know what's going on. I'm just.
Mr. Rogg made the motion. Bob made the second.
I'm sorry, I did not hear that. Thank you. Councilmember Carr?
Sure.
Councilmember Rogg?
Aye.
Councilmember Giefer?
Aye.
Councilmember Tufti?
Aye.
Mayor Huber?
Aye. All right, we're back on track. 2023-22, an authorization for summary publication. As you guys know, we're not going to publish all this stuff in the newspaper, so we do a summary of this and then publish it to save us money. Do I have a motion to
So
approve?
moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
John?
Councilmember Carr?
Aye.
Councilmember Rogg?
Aye.
Councilmember Giefer?
Aye.
Councilmember Tufti?
Aye.
Mayor Huber?
Aye. You're lucky you didn't do your computer on that one.
I know.
Was
Lucky.
he drinking right
Yes,
there?
he
Oh,
was.
ouch.
Yeah, yeah. You might want to like not like a horse, so just understand, yeah. Okay, let's keep going. The preliminary 2024 budget. Sharon, do you want to just summarize? I'm not sure if you'd like to summarize or not. No? Okay, let's not.
Well, we have
We
we
made
have
a
that
change.
revised figure that we
Yeah,
have
we
to
gotta
call
have
out.
the number.
Right, I gave you all the number.
Yeah, we do have the number. It
Oh,
is,
it is 2-4, there it is.
Just
yeah,
the-
we've
the
got it. I
resolution
set it
change?
aside,
Yeah.
Sharon.
Yep.
My bad.
It's there.
That ain't it.
10 grand higher than that.
295.
That was 2,000,005.
So, Not the levy, but that 21, and
2,502,954.
Yeah, that's it.
number 20,
I'm not gonna
2,502,954.
process.
22954.
Yep, just by
Just
20,000, or $10,000.
Okay, got it.
Hi, Sharon, treasurer.
Hi. Okay, oh, I can't see like that. All right, 2023-20 is our general fund budget for 2024. This is our total of expenses for the general fund. We also have a fund for our debt service, but that is not budgeted. So, the council met twice and went through all the items that have changed and discussed our future issues, such as brushing, and they have come up with a budget of $2,502,954.
That is correct.
And that would be a motion and a second for 2023-20. Yes.
So moved.
We have a second on that figure for our total budget, please.
I'll second.
Thank you, John.
Councilmember Carr?
Aye.
Councilmember Rogg?
Aye.
Councilmember Giefer?
Aye.
Councilmember Tufti?
Aye.
Mayor Huber?
Aye, thank you. And the preliminary 2024 levy, Sharon.
Our preliminary levy at a 3% increase, which is traditional in grant, is $1,444,216. And by traditional, I don't mean that we do it without thinking, but we tried very hard to keep it at this low level.
Yes, and remarks before I ask for a motion here. Traditional, Sharon, means that when the city has reserves, we're in a good financial position. There is no reason to raise our levy in order to raise reserves. We want that money left in the residents' pockets. As long as they're doing a good job, and I note that we had no one at our budget meeting, we must be doing a pretty good job, right? So,
Right.
with that said, looking for a motion on the levy of $1,444,216.
So moved.
Thank you, sir, and a second.
Second.
Bob, thank you.
Councilmember Carr?
Aye.
Councilmember Rogg?
Aye.
Councilmember Giefer?
Aye.
Councilmember Tufti?
Aye.
Mayor Huber?
Aye. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Sharon.
You're
That was a
welcome.
painless process as normal, and you gave us some good advice, and I think we came to a good number. We will have for those folks who are watching this process, we will have a 15-minute meeting prior to the December meeting, so that you may see our final deliberations on that. And that's just so that we can kind of wrap up our thinking on that and explain where we are. Unfinished business. Kim?
Mr. Mayor, council members, there is no unfinished business.
I know, but I like to ask, because you could come up with something.
No,
Staff updates?
I have none.
Christina? No, we're good? All right, like to hear that. City council reports, gentlemen, any future agenda items? Gentlemen, or Tom, yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
you can call me gentlemen. That's
Yeah, sure, I try to all
Some
the time.
people do.
Yes.
So I got a phone call, I think John Rogg did too, from a resident that lives on Maple, which is, I guess, I'm not gonna get in the weeds on who does what, where, and how. But we had the really bad winter this last year, and the school bus company apparently has told, which I guess they have the power to tell the school district, that they are not gonna drive down that road. And so now all the residents that live down there and their 8 kids are not getting picked up by the bus, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. So, the gentleman wanted to know what we could do, and I said, well, we're kind of a third party. So I started kind of brainstorming on what we could do and what I don't know. And as we talk about, everything needs to go to staff so they can tell us what, so that's what I'm doing right now. My idea would be that, that they go to the school district and tell them to tell the bus company they're driving down there, because even though last year was 5 months of really bad winter, I get it. And I know school bus companies have a hard time finding people. I'm sympathetic. But if there's a bus driver stopping and driving right by the road where it goes down for 3/4 of a mile, I think they should go get them. I think the only thing I was thinking about for all of those people that live down there is to have our road person talk to Montemiti's road person, who I think I don't think Ken goes over there and does that. I don't know that, okay? And find out what's going on, what happened. Is it just, and then see if we can put something together from our end so we can give to the bus company, not that it's a promise and we don't know what's gonna be a bad winter, for some ammunition for those people to say, okay, look, in the school district, school district should just tell them, my opinion, that we're gonna really take care of this road, and if you have a problem, you call us. Maybe Kenny goes and hits it again. I don't know. I'm not gonna stay out of that, because I don't know what's going on. I don't know what it was like. But, they were looking for help. And so this is my way of bringing it to the council to look for help.
Good deal.
And so I don't know what the council wants to do. I don't really have an answer right now. I don't have enough I have a lot of questions. I'd like to know why they're doing this, and they can arbitrarily do this to the families that are paying taxes to Montemiti to get their kids bused to school. So I'm just gonna, I said that, and I don't really know where to go next. I don't know if Jeff is still meeting. Are you still meeting with the school superintendent and all that? So I want to bring it up. That's where I'm gonna leave it, and look for anybody's got any ideas or what you want to do, and I'll be
Well,
cool.
let's start with a little bit of investigation.
Yeah.
John, this parent called you.
Yes, sir.
Have you spoken with the superintendent or anyone at the school regarding this
No, I
to verify any of this?
just got it.
He called at 5 o'clock.
We don't know, you just
don't.
got it. Okay, real good. So, let's reach out first to the school district and, figure out what's going on. I know that, 80th Street, Maple's right off 80th, and they've had problems with those cul-de-sacs down there.
Yeah.
And, because they don't flow, they're surrounded by swamp, right,
Yeah.
so the water doesn't come off.
Right.
It's a pain in the butt over there. So, we did rebuild some culverts to get some of that water out of there. Apparently, I don't know, one of them's plugged, whatever. But that's why we did the apron on 80th, because I had the superintendent calling me, telling me the buses were sliding down the hill and they're gonna stop going down 80th unless we fixed it. It's fixed. If they're having a similar problem on Maple, we can fix that. So, let's start, by reaching out to the superintendent and the head of, transportation over at the school district, and if it's okay with the council, I will go ahead and do that in the morning. And we will figure out what the problem is, and then we will start to remedy that problem, whether it's increased grading, whether it's increased salt and sand, whatever it takes in order for us not to be the instigator of children not being picked up.
Yeah, and
Because Tom's right. These people are paying taxes. They deserve to have their children picked up at the front of their house, just like everybody else, so.
And I think with one bad year to stop it is ridiculous. Now, I don't know who takes care of it. Does anybody know?
Who takes care of what?
Maple. Do we plow it? Oh, he does go over there and plow it, okay. Because I was told that Montemita plowed it by the guy that called me, so it's.
I do not believe we have a reciprocal agreement
Okay,
over there. We
okay.
have the reciprocal
Cool.
agreement on Ideal heading south, but I think that's the only reciprocal we have over on that side of town.
Okay, all right.
White Bear does some stuff with us over in the other corner, but.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
So we will, reach out to them, we'll figure out what's going on over there, and we will get some stuff done over there. Kim, do you have anything to add to this, or should I just stick with that plan? Real good. Then I wanna bring up something real quick. I was asked to serve on an infrastructure committee for the Montemita School District. It's been years since my children have been out of school. I'm not familiar with infrastructure needs in Montemedi. So since this was offered to me, I felt empowered then to offer it to a council person who had more experience and more knowledge of what infrastructure is needed in schools. That's Mr. Rogg. Mr. Rogg has 4 school-aged children. He is the correct candidate for that type of position to liaison with the school district in order to determine what infrastructure needs there are. So I have asked John to fill that position for me. I will continue going to the leadership meetings on Friday mornings with the superintendent and other city leaders. So congratulations, John. I know you're gonna do a great job.
Thank you, sir.
I know you will, John. You're
I have
thoughtful.
grandkids.
You'll do great.
Doesn't that count?
Doesn't count.
Damn.
All right, the dulcet tones are up, and I believe Mr. Giefer, I think, is the community calendar spokesman, and then Mr. Rogg next
I
month.
think I did it last time.
Okay, fine, then it's Mr. Rogg. You
You're a
you
good
just
boy.
got rid
Don't
of it.
swallow any water. until-
Go ahead, Rogg.
All right, all right.
John is gonna.
Gave her up.
Matamidi Public Schools Board Meeting, Thursday, September 14th and 28th. Matamidi District Education Center at 7 p.m. Stillwater Public Schools Board Meeting, Thursday, September 14th, Stillwater City Hall, 7 p.m. And Washington County Commissioners Meeting, Tuesdays at the Government Center at 9 a.m.
I just want to
John?
congratulate John on reading.
Well, I heard John, Gief and John, so that's all I can do. What'd I hear?
Councilmember Carr?
Yes.
Councilmember Rogg?
Aye.
Councilmember Kiefer?
Indeed.
Councilmember Tufti?
Aye.
Mayor Huber?
Yes. Thank you, ladies, and thank you, gentlemen, for a quick meeting. Sir, thank you for coming. It was nice to have an audience.